There's a video on my channel that's very favorable of Avengers Endgame, and while I still think that it's a fun time travel movie, I have pretty much come all the way around on the MCU since that video, and there's only a few of these movies that I actually like anymore. And while I've seen some people complain that the MCU is going downhill, in my opinion, the MCU, I've never liked that acronym by the way, it was never that good to begin with. While, yes, of course, it has been a great business achievement, raking in billions and billions of dollars for everybody's favorite mecha corporation, I'm not here to talk about that today. This is not ChalShire Finance. This is not ChalShire Stock Tips.
What?
Point is, I can't see these films as artistic achievements. There are a few that I do like, but for the most part, these movies are trash. And I pretty much have no desire to see any of them again. And I think that's saying something. So before I start, let me get some predictions out of the way. No, I'm not a DC fanboy. Those movies are trash too, believe me. And don't worry, I'll get to them later. They're not getting away from me. And I'm also not a comic book hater. In fact, I love the source material, and I feel like it's way better of a medium for this zany, off-the-wall adventure. But in that same vein, I'm not a purist for the comic books either, and I don't think the movies have to be just like the comic books or anything like that. I really just feel like these films are soulless, factory reproductions of Stan Lee's characters. The shitty jokes come to mind, first of all. I think it's a good place to start. So I might be on my own on this. I know everyone in the theater laughs out loud. Their entire asses just get laughed off in the entire theater. I don't know why, but I just don't find these movies funny. Only a paucity of these jokes are actually clever at all, in the slightest. And the rest of them are basically just clownish gags. And I'm not sure why everyone is so obsessed with Drax saying that he can be invisible. It's not fucking funny, alright? And on that note, why is Drax talking about penises funny? Like, what?
Did you make a penis? I got a penis.
What the fuck? Am I the only sane person here? And also, it's not to mention that most of these jokes can come at pretty inappropriate times that really kill the drama. That's what does it for me. They basically put dampers in the story and just take it backwards when they're trying to get cheap laughs. It doesn't work. And, I'm trying to think of a joke from these dog movies that I actually liked, but I can't think of anything. And this all goes without mentioning that they turned the Hulk, one of the most interesting, dynamic, serious split personality characters in most of fiction, and turned him into a fucking dork. Like, look at him in any of the recent movies. He doesn't work for me. And I'm sorry, I just don't like Professor Hulk. So, anywho, the humor doesn't work for me. It's overdone to death. But if that was just it wouldn't be a big deal, but it keeps on going. There's a lack of visual style and some pretty ugly designs in just about all these movies. And yeah, none of the humor is landing. And at the same time, the style of the films visually is never intriguing. There's nothing aesthetic. And I usually feel like it might be more fun to just watch this in black and white. The colors are muted in most movies. The environments are desaturated and bland. Like, there's an airport where the Civil War Captain America battle versus Iron Man takes place. Like, really? That's the best location we can do? And then a concrete bunker for Iron Man versus Captain America? And I'm like, oh, throw some snow in there. Okay, come on, man. And then why is Spider-Man fighting the Green Goblin like his arch nemesis in a condominium? Like, what? Are we crazy here? What's going on? Anyway, so not to mention the CGI has really started to get phoned in. No! I know there was a pandemic, but there were other movies that did well with the same circumstances. Like, if you look at The Batman, and you understand they had to go through the same stuff, and it still looked great visually, there's no excuse for a multi-billion-dollar corporation like Walt Disney to have this crap CGI. But poor special effects aside, and irritating humor might be forgivable if the rest of the movies were great, okay? Like, really great plot, aside from that, it would be fine. But no, these adaptations are stuck in a cycle of derivation that the filmmakers can't seem to ever get creative with. And I will admit, I am pretty biased against things that are adapting previous work with an existing fan base. I think it's inherently lazy from the start, but that's not to say that adaptations can't be great. Especially those of Superman movies, like Raimi's Spider-Man. I love those. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I'm with everyone in agreeing that it's one of the best comic book movies of the decade. The Dark Knight, a masterpiece of cinema. But what those movies do great is that they took the source material, respected it, and they also managed to produce their own unique piece of film in addition to it, with pretty much all these MCU movies, there's really nothing that makes them their own thing. If you took out the recognizable superheroes and replaced them with original characters, I really don't think anyone would care. The plots are usually rail-thin stories of superhero tropes we all know. Pretty much all the characters, save maybe Iron Man and Captain America, their arcs are pretty good. They all go through the standard hero, villain, sidekick arcs without anything interesting happening. And the endings are all safe and predictable. And no, I don't think killing half the cast in Infinity War counts if they get brought back a year later in the very next movie. So I don't have a problem with executing a formula to tell your story. I don't. I just have a problem with a mega giant like the Walt Disney Corporation pumping out the same formula of characters they never created nearly 30 times and still getting rewarded for it financially. And since the plots aren't strong enough, there has to be something to drive people to the theaters or to the Disney Plus. So the MCU has no choice but to perform their myopic focus on nostalgia and interconnectedness. So this seems like the new dominant trait of Marvel movies. Not the story, not the characters, not the ideals that hero stories try to discuss, but the cameos. And let me just say, I'm not really a fan of all the cameo bait. Yeah, it was a great business model to get people to see No Way Home by hinting at, oh, Toby and Andrew might be in there. And yeah, the film got like $1 billion. But when I actually went to see the movie, I realized it was purely for spectacle. This cat cow franchise is so derivative that it brings back the old Spider-Man cast, and it can't think of anything new to add on its own. Like, what? Like, oh, and it's just going to keep going and getting worse. Look at the new Doctor Strange movie. The more I think back to No Way Home, the more I dislike it. And that was just the beginning. Oh my god, it's Professor X from the X-Men movies, and yo, he's in the wheelchair from the cartoon series. Whoa! Hey, I recognize that thing from that thing. Yo, it's Jim from Jim. Like, come on. Like, seriously. The more saturated this franchise gets, the more it's trying to impress countless 40-year-old men with its nostalgia. And putting nostalgia goggles, just super gluing it right to our faces. Okay? Okay. I don't know why that image of Mickey Mouse gluing goggles to my face. It's just, I don't know. It's entertaining to me. Whatever. So, seriously, the more saturated this franchise gets, the more it's going to try and impress. I already said that. While the current generation alpha is stuck watching their parents be nostalgic of things that they have to be nostalgic for now, like, seriously, if their childhoods, the current generation of kids, are going to be made up of a bunch of nostalgia bait, what are they going to be nostalgic about in the future? I think that's something we should keep in mind. This constant reliance on nostalgia does a disservice to the children by forcing them to be nostalgic of things that are nostalgic, and it's not just going to become some sort of nostalgia inception. Oh my goodness. Like, it even feels like we forgot what made cameos and nostalgia cool when used in moderation. It's the disharmony of seeing unexpected things mesh together well and actually fit with something different. And it was satisfying. That motley crew element that somehow worked was awesome. Am I referring to the MCU? No. I'm thinking of Jimmy Neutron meeting Timmy Turner. That's where I think this works. MCU just doesn't work with this anymore. Anyway, so yeah, that's where I stand on the MCU. I know I sounded pretty harsh there, but if you like these movies, no worries. I'm always going to respect your individual opinions, but I would suggest that even the staunchest Marvel movie fans be open to new stories. We always hear about how a diverse society or a diverse portfolio is great, and I think it's the same with entertainment. So even though these movies I can't stand are still on top of the film business for now, I'll be fine. Because I got a diverse entertainment portfolio. I've got more comic books, Shakespeare plays, and classic cinema to get through. So I'll be staying home for Avengers 5 through 12. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, please like and subscribe. Do you like the MCU? Do you not like it? Do you agree with me? Let's talk in the comments below. Leave a comment. Yeah, there's more content where that came from. I appreciate all of you, and I'm signing off.